Hey guys, welcome back to Linda's Resin Room. We're going to do something a little different today. I haven't done this before, so I thought, why not? And I've not seen anybody else do this with this mold. This mold is from Julie Katz Pouring Your Heart Out. It's a bit of a little deeper mold. It is a trinket tray. But I also have one of her large droozy circles, which fits perfectly in the center here. So I thought, why not make this whole thing droozy? Right? There's hair on that. So I thought that's what we would do. I have 8 ounces of resin here that I have not mixed up yet. It is the Hay Clear, Part A, Part B, 1-to-1 resin. And I'm going to paint the edge with the Let's Resin Chrome Powder Purple. And it's the Chrome Powder kit with the 10 colors from Let's Resin. And I've got the purple out. So I'm going to paint the edge, but then I don't want the center the same color. So I got violet acrylic ink from Montmartre. And you do want to shake these up. I'm going to put a drop in here just to give it a little bit of a tint. And I might put a little sparkle in there too. So let's see. Just want, that's bubbles. Get rid of the bubbles and pull some ink up. Just one drop. I barely want any tint. I just want it tinted a little. Perfect. All right. So I've got one drop of that. And I have the Unicorn Art Crushed Crystal that I'm going to put just a little teensy tiny bit down in there, because you guys know a little of this goes a very long way. So very little. And you may not even be able to see it because of the droozy that's going to be in there should give it sparkle. But I think that will be plenty. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to mix this up, get it in the debubbler. And once I know it's not going to bubble over on me, we will paint our edge up and get this put together to get ready to pour. I'll see you in just a moment. All right, guys, so I got the resin in the debubbler. And it's not going to bubble over. It's already bubbled up and dropped back down. So let's paint this mold. I think this will be really pretty. I hope so anyways. Okay. And in what I get on the center there, I will be able to clean off, because I do want to put my droozy on there, and I want my droozy to stick. So I don't want to have color on the center. And I always get it around the edge. Can't help it, I do. I can clean it up with some tape afterwards, or a baby wipe, or whatever. I'm definitely getting it in the center too, right? Just want to make sure I get this painted up really well, because I want that color to really stand out. It's a little bit harder to get it on the edges. I don't know why. It's like it's harder to get down in those little droozy areas. Center's not so bad. Maybe I'm doing something different toward the center than I am the edge. A little more color here. I love these chrome powders. These are so pretty. I will have to dust this mold out also, so I'm sure I'll have extra powder down in some of those little droozy spots. Okay, we're almost there. It's probably too much powder, but maybe that'll finish the mold off. See, there's some little spots you can see that's just not getting the color very much. So, just want to go back over that. Alright, let's get this cleaned up. The lid on that so I don't waste it, and I've got it on crooked. Alright. I'm just going to dust this out. Alright, now let's get us a baby wipe. Now I'm going to clean this inside first, because I got to get my droozy on there. And I definitely don't want anything keeping it from sticking. I definitely got it everywhere, didn't I? Okay, let's find us a clean spot and go over that. I think I'll flip it over to the back side. Now I'll just go over this once more to make sure I got all that color off of that. Now this mold does have some black spots down in it. I don't know what it's from. Maybe something landed in the mold as she was making the mold, is my guess. But it doesn't affect the piece. And I know it's there. So I'm not trying to continuously scrub to get that off. I did when I first got it, and I was like, wait a minute, I think that's made into the mold. A baby wipe won't scrape or scratch your mold, not like a paper towel would. That's why I would suggest cleaning up with a baby wipe. And if you want to spritz some alcohol on your baby wipe, go for it. It works too. When I have a difficult spot, I spritz alcohol on it, but I don't like to put a lot of alcohol on my mold because it will break your mold down. And these molds are very expensive if you look at the shipping costs along with the cost of the mold. So yeah, I don't want to tear this up. Okay, just get all that off my table. Let's see, make sure there's nothing on the back of my droozy. All right. Now, let me stick this droozy right down here. I want to make sure I get it right around there. Okay. Now that should stick. I'm just going to press down on it. I'm going to take and kind of try to get some of that color off that I got on there, because I'm sure I did. I see a couple little black spots. Take my tape, and get those off. I don't want it to show up in my piece, because you know your piece will pick up every little thing that is in this mold. Okay, that looks awesome. Let me get my resin. Depressurize this thing. This was in there for 10 minutes. All my bubbles are almost gone. There's one bubble floating on top. We'll pop him. Hopefully, this will prevent bubbles. We will see. Now, I know there's going to be some bubbles down in these droozies because they're just so small. So I'm just going to... I'm not going to mess with the color, just the center. You're not going to see it because it's a droozy edge. Don't know if this will be enough to fill this mold. I think it will. I didn't look to see how much it held. I've made it once before with a bloom. Couldn't quite remember. So 8 ounces for this mold, which is awesome. I'm just making sure I can scrape my cup. This one side just, it's like my table leans a little bit almost. I've tried to level it the best I can. It just don't work. Okay, now we can scrape the rest out. I think this will be very pretty. Got all of this out of there. And that acrylic ink will match that edge so well, I think. Okay. Go around the edge once. And I always use my cup. Never fails. Alright. Get all of that off. And then let that drip. This is going to keep it from dripping on me, hopefully. Turn that cup and let that drain. Now, where is my paper towel? I'm going to let this drip once more. There's always so much resin left on a stick. When you scrape this off, that's why you don't want it to drip on you. Alright, I'm going to use this baby wipe and try to get some of that resin that's on my gloves off. Okay. We do have a few bubbles, so my little baby torch that hardly even pops the bubbles, if you can tell. Don't want to burn the mold, so. Alright, guys. I see a lot of little tiny bubbles on the droozy, but like I said, it's not going to matter. Yeah, I mean, you can sit here and pluck every single one of those out if you wanted to. There's a lot. But it's not going to matter. I might get some of the bigger ones out because you're not going to see them. There's a bigger one there. But like I said, I mean, you can just go over it if you like and try to pop some of them loose. I wouldn't do it to the color part, or then you'll have missing color. I will have to trim this up. You see that where the bubbles came out from under my droozy? Because I didn't have it flat. So that means resin's got under there. So when I go to take the droozy out, usually there's a little resin that gets under there. And it's not hard at all. to cut that off. Usually it'll just flake away on its own. And I'll show you all that when we demold this. Come on, drip. So I'll get that cleaned off. Okay. Now, we got quite a few bubbles up. So let's see if I can get those to pop. Like I said, my lighter's not even that strong, and it's not really popping a whole lot of them. But that's it, guys. We will let this cure up, come back, demold, take the droozy part out and trim it up and see how our piece looks. So I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, this has cured up. So let's get it out of here and see what it looks like. I'm sure I'm going to have some overage under that droozy that I'll have to take off. Not a whole lot. A little tiny bit, but not much. Got it pretty clean. Now we just got to, like I said, there is a little overage on there, and that usually just peels right off. And we just got to get the insert, the inlay to come out of there. That's the hard part, is getting these things out. They're so thin, I'm afraid I'll tear it or rip it, or just got to get it down in there and pull it away. There we go. And where's my craft knife? Should be able to go right around there. Maybe get that overage off. This part's a little thicker than the rest, so there it goes. Like I said, it usually just peels right off. It's just getting a hold of it is the issue. I've never used this droozy insert before. Just taking my time to where I can get a hold of that and get that started. I'm being careful not to go all the way down to the bottom because I don't want to cut my piece that I made. Get a hold of it to tear it. There we go. There's another little piece overage. Need to. It's so hard to get a hold of those. Probably easier to take scissors. Okay. Where's my little scissors? I have a pair of little scissors that would probably work so much better if I can get them down in there. And I'm just barely pulling this to get it to pull away. Where it's under that overage, I don't want it to rip the piece too bad. I can pull a little bit of it off, but I really don't want to tear it up. There's a lot of overage. It's not really a lot. It's just, it's hard to get a hold of. It's very thin. And I think it's just the way the mold is anyways. I just don't want it to be in our way so we can see what it looks like when we get it completely out of there. The scissors just don't get over as far as the scalpel or craft knife, whatever you want to call it, does. There's a little silicone in there. Okay, I got that out. Now we should be able to grab a hold of it and just pull it out there. Okay, there we go. I'm ripping it, I think. Can't tell. Yeah, I've ripped it. Okay. It is really down in there on this side. Maybe if I can pop that up, then I can get this out without tearing it up too bad. There we go. Got it. Just this has a droozy edge also on the inlay, so it makes it a little difficult because all those little individual pieces want to stick down in there. Got it. And we can put this up and use this over and over. You can also cut these down to whatever size you want them. Now I got most of the overage off already. So let's just see if we can get this last little section. It's a little bit there. This part's a little thicker, I think. I didn't seal it very well around the edges. I could have done a better job, I suppose. Alright guys, I'll finish cleaning this up later, but I got off the majority. And there is our dish. Isn't that pretty? I like that sparkle. I really like that. You can put your jewelry in there, your keys, whatever. Alright guys, we will come back for the next video. So, I'll see you guys then.